Seems I get in my own way. The more I think, the less I say. I hope I communicate the craving. Now I see intentions don't mean much.
I think that definitively proves that sports isn't for me.
Say enough, did I let it know if I found my body in chains, I'd lay down and wait and hope she looks for me.
You'd think after 100 takes I'd be just good at it, but no, terrible writing and mirrored. Narrative framing is a type of plot device where something is used to force the narrative into motion. Just like Newton's first law of motion that says that any object at rest or in motion will stay in rest or in motion respectively until an outside force is exerted upon it. Likewise, there are some plot points, scenes, or parts of a story that wouldn't actually move unless there's an outside force acting upon it. It is not self-catalyzing, unlike some things like natural disasters or something like that. Those happen naturally, those occur naturally, and the story will take place either way. If you have a genre of film that is about a detective that goes around solving crimes, you don't really need a narrative framing for a crime to take place, because we already established that. However, it's different when we talk about filming someone's real life, for example, because not a lot of things happen you can just capture and people will understand like what's happening in the plot and everything. So sometimes we use narrative framing as a device that would turn someone's day, which is typically boring and everything, into something that the audience can follow. And while explaining this, I just realized that I didn't actually use narrative framing. Instead, I was going to talk about and yap in this part of the video. If you notice, we're already at the yapping part of Prototype, to frame and to push in that story of my day today. However, instead of doing that, I'm just going to tell you about what happened today so you can get caught up. I didn't plan to film Prototype episode 3 today. I didn't have any idea that that would happen. It's just something that I realized in the middle of the day when my agendas were already running out. And so the day started with me knowing that I have to go to school to get enrolled. But I didn't know that I'm gonna have so many stops until the things actually happen. So the first thing that I do know is that before I get to school, I need to get a haircut. As you can see, I think it's called a mid-taper. Then I realized that if I leave now and immediately go to school, I'm gonna have to be waiting an hour at the very least because it's their lunch break. And I didn't want to wait an hour and a half until they finish their lunch break. I want to get processed immediately after I go to school. So instead I killed some time, a little bit like an hour and a half at the mall, just walking distance away from the barbers. For the entirety of the lunch break of the office of our school, I was getting coffee, eating snacks, watching The Chosen, a series that you should definitely check out whether you're religious or not. Really good story. I went to the arcade, and that is when that's when I was thinking, I should definitely it's not even for Prototype, I just wanted to film my basketball game thing so I can prove a point, and I ended up disproving my own point. But also I realized since I was already filming, I might as well follow through and film the rest of Prototype episode 3. I was just sort of walking towards the transport terminal when it just happened. Yep, I should definitely be doing Prototype episode 3 by now. And so, yeah, I was able to get myself enrolled. I was by myself, so when I was looking at how the other students, especially those my age, are getting enrolled with their parents, I just sort of got that jealous feeling because they're with their parents and I'm not. And I really miss back then when my mum would go with me, because that's sort of like a little hangout time, and you know, I feel like I didn't have to be responsible for myself. And so I miss those days when I was just scot-free, just waiting for my mom to do everything for me. Not only am I old, but you know, my parents have their own responsibilities here at home and at our store. So there was really no option but for me to enroll myself to be independent. And I was really missing, I was just like, wow, I am jealous that some of them are with their families, entire families. I don't know, nostalgic, jealous, no idea, but I was just really, I was just like, if only that could happen to me as well. But anyway, it was very quick. I forgot to film it. I got told that I am 28 kilograms overweight, which is, I understand I am overweight, but that sounds like a lot of poopy spoody. There's no way 28 kilograms for my height. BMI is such a flawed system, by the way. Anyway, before I get distracted in that, I got home and filmed the rest of Prototype in here. So yeah, that's me here now filming. This is like my 4th take of this, by the way. Anyway, before I get ahead of myself, I'm seeing that this video is now at the 9-minute mark, the raw file. So I'm going to instead talk about this room. It has once again redecorated.
Ooh, Josh is shirtless.
It has once again got changed. It has been doing this over and over. It's not doing it by itself, but you know, we keep renovating and everything. So I guess I'm just going to show you my room. So it's still a little bit messy in my room right now, but this is essentially, this is my desk. This is where I do most of the things during the day. If I have to do a little bit of research, if I have to play video games, if I have to process things, whatever it might be. It's a terrible camera quality, I love it. Whatever it is, that's where I do it. It's a bit, we're back to being very, very reverby because I haven't acoustically treated the room, which is why you can see a little bit of acoustic panels that I bought, which I just learned is actually quite useless because they're very thin. They don't really do anything to muffle the sound. Okay, here we go. Let's test it. All right. See? No difference. And if you can't hear the reverb, because you know I'm talking close up, wait until you hear this. That is a very cursed sound. You don't want that when you're recording, so I'm gonna have to invest in more expensive acoustic treatment. This is my best buddy for now, but I'm gonna have to improve it somehow. This is my closet. It's newly installed. It has two pauses. This one, when you open this one, it reveals a bunch of fragrances that I have bought. It's a bunch of cheap fragrances. Honestly, I don't like buying originals because they're just not worth it. You know, I just want to smell nice for a little bit, for a little while. Although this lasts really long. I recommend it if you want something that lasts for like 24 hours or more. If you want the thing to stick on your shirt for a week after washing it, definitely get that one. These are my commonly used clothes, less commonly used fabrics. And this is the secondary sort of thing. It's where my stuff are and hung stuff. This is the thing that's making the sliding door lag. We'll fix that in the future. But now, that's how it is. This is the thing that's been making noise earlier the entire time I was recording my audio. Bed. And I guess that's it for the room tour and for this day.